You take drugs, Danny?
Every day.
Good. So what's the problem?
I don't know.
We wrote it as a coming-of-age story for the caddy.
Won't have enough money to put me through college.
Well, the world needs ditch diggers, too.
I started thinking of it not so much as the story of this kid, but as Danny Noonan's search for a role model.
That's director Harold Ramis, and while it might not seem like it, he's talking about one of the greatest comedies of all time.
Lovely lady. Hey, baby, you're all right. You must have been something before electricity, huh?
Except in the original 200-page script, it was far from that, and it wasn't until the crew began filming that they realized their mistake.
In the casting process, we hired such high-powered adult talent, Rodney Dangerfield and Ted Knight and Chevy Chase and Bill Murray, that inevitably all our creative attention went to making those characters work, and the caddy story kind of didn't fade into the background so much as the story of the main caddy really got interlaced.
What do you want to go to college for, Danny?
I don't know.
And out of all the talent that signed on, none was more crucial to the film's pivot than Bill Murray, who originally wasn't really in the film at all.
My character originally had one small scene in the movie, and I did have one line in the movie. I can't remember what it was exactly.
So I got that going, which is nice.
That one scene would go on to change the film forever, because between Murray improvising lines and the crew continuously laughing at his delivery, they shot the scene for hours, and Ramis knew they had something special.
They ended up liking my stuff, and they kept asking me to come back down and shoot more stuff.
And with the production currently ongoing, that stuff was completely improvised.
My stuff wasn't in the script, no.
Check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they're gonna lock me up and throw away the key.
And while this could be a hard ask for a normal actor, for 1980s Bill Murray, it was anything but. And Harold Ramis used that to his advantage.
We had the advantage of having Bill Murray, who's one of the most verbally clever people ever. One of the great improvisers of all time. And I had him just for 6 solid days just firing away on this character.
And fire away he did.
I smell varmint poontang.
Ramis would simply describe the scene and start filming, only pausing to check on the production crew. If they were laughing, he would move on. If they weren't, he would film the scene again. In fact, for the famous 75-second Cinderella speech, Ramis instructed cinematographer Stephen Larner to simply place 2 cameras at different lengths and let them go, which resulted in over 30 straight minutes of improv footage that they eventually edited down to the scene in the film.
He improvised that speech. Yeah. All it says in the script is Carl is lopping the heads off flowers with a grass whip, which is exactly what he's doing. So we went to shoot it, and I said, I had been jogging. It doesn't look like I jogged. But in order to motivate myself, I always did the announcer. He's coming into the stadium. He's a full, 100 yards ahead of the nearest runner, and the crowd's cheering. And so I said to Bill, do you ever do that when you're playing sports? He said, say no more.
What an incredible Cinderella story. This unknown comes out of nowhere.
Also, as a golfer, I love that his yardages are so far off. He hits a 2-iron 100 yards, a 5-iron 150 yards, and then sinks it with an 8-iron from 195 away.
It's in the hole!
But with Bill's comedic masterclass in full swing, Ramis had a revelation. He realized that the film needed to center more around the strengths of the comedians, taking on something that more closely resembled a Marx Brothers film.
Once we cast it, we had all these great people, and I realized more and more it was taking on the shape of the Marx Brothers. And you had an established order of snobby upper-class people, and that was Ted Knight and his wife, and that whole. And then you had these 3 antic characters, and I always thought in Caddyshack that Rodney was like Groucho Marx, Chevy was like Chico, and Bill was like Harpo. That was the kind of the way I broke it down. And once I surrendered to that, all right, we're making a movie where the ingenue story is really the B story. It gives us the arc of the movie, but it's not really where the audience will be invested. They'll really be invested just in the entertainment value of these 3 other characters, which is how it worked out.
This played directly into the strengths of the SNL veterans, who were used to the skit-style comedy it was morphing into, even if that meant creating entire scenes the same day of shooting.
We had lunch. It was Doug Kenny and Harold Ramis and Billy and me, and this is to my best recollection, and we wrote that scene during lunch and shot it in the afternoon.
This your place, Carl? Yeah, what do you think? It's really awful.
They even knew to play off each other's characters, perfectly pairing Murray's verbal comedy with Chevy's more dry and silent comedy. In fact, the hardest part of filming the scene was getting takes where neither actor broke.
He gives you any trouble.
Sorry guys, hold it right there.
We knew we were funny. You know, your audience is kind of the crew, you know, or the director. And I envisioned on the other side of that camera about 7 of my best friends on a couch, trying to make them laugh.
And with these comedians always trying to one-up each other, that mindset proved to be exactly what the film needed.
In comedy, there's this intangible that you have to like strive for and achieve every day, and there are no rules for it.
It was great spontaneity, which was also the hallmark at the time of all the Saturday Night Live people involved. Improvisation, they called it in those days.
We always trusted improvisation. We never felt like we were just ad-libbing or winging it. It's an actual technique and a method that allows you to create material instantly, and it's not just, you know, grabbed out of thin air. You actually plan what you're going to do, and you have it's like having a script without finished dialogue.
Take one marker. We got to get you a name.
That loose outline style of filming led to not only one of my favorite comedies, but to some of cinema's most memorable lines.
I want potato. You'll get nothing and like it.
Those things were just winged. And those are the kinds of things that people remember. It's like, they remember those things.
It was a little disappointing when it came out, and now it's just miraculous irony that people have continued to embrace the film and love it. And
it was great to see it kind of eventually kind of worm its way into everybody's hearts, you know, and I'm kind of really proud of it.
The graveyard is 2 blocks to the left, okay?
I'm Luke.
People say, you know, I'm an idiot or something.
People don't say that about you as far as you know.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, it looks good on you, though.